Hey, okay, so I want to do an eyeshadow tutorial today and I want to use some colors that I have absolutely been loving lately. These colors are gorgeous for spring and they are going to be perfect for transitioning into summer. All right, so this right here is the palette that I'm going to be using. So I've got Drift, Valencia, Claire, Crush, and Trust. Now, the fun thing about this eyeshadow tutorial is that it's going to have 5 steps to it, but the great thing about the colors in this palette is that you could stop at any of the steps, even if you stopped at step 1, and you would have a complete eyeshadow look. And this is exactly why I actually think that this palette is perfect for spring, but also for transitioning into summer. So obviously for spring, this is like a perfect palette. It's got some beautiful shades in it. It's got like a light peach. It's got some soft pinks. It's got some pretty shimmers. So this is a really good shade just to kind of represent all the spring vibes that we're all feeling right now. But like I mentioned at the beginning, I am going to be showing you this eyeshadow tutorial in 5 different steps, which is kind of why I love this for summer. And the reason why is because in the summer, we tend to wear a lot less makeup just because we're going to the beach, we're going out to the pool, whatever it is. And so we don't want to wear a ton of makeup, but sometimes we do want a little bit of something just so we look a little bit more presentable. And with this eyeshadow palette, it gives you a lot of flexibility. You can have some really simple everyday looks or beach looks, but then it also allows you the versatility to dress it up a little bit more in case you want to have a little bit more makeup on and maybe you want it for like going out to dinner or something like that. All right, so now let's dive into the tutorial. So I'm gonna start with my eyeshadow brush. I'm gonna start with the fluffy end of it and I'm gonna dip into this color right here called Valencia. I'm just gonna kind of swirl that fluffy end into that shade and then I am just gonna do a wash of this color all over my lid. So I'm going up into the crease, I'm doing it all across the lid and I'm just gonna distribute that color all over. So as you can see, just having that wash of Valencia over my eyes is enough to have a complete eyeshadow look. I could add some mascara and be good to go for the day. And what I love about it is that doing this wash of color all over my lid with Valencia literally took me about 20 to 30 seconds and I'm good to go. The other thing that I really love about the shade Valencia is that because it's a really soft, subtle peach tone, it looks great on all eye colors. So whether you've got blue eyes, brown eyes, green eyes, whatever color, this shade is a great shade to have in your palette. Let's move on to step 2. So I'm gonna take the same brush, same fluffy end. I'm gonna now dip into this color called Claire, and I am just gonna do windshield wiper motion right across the crease, right on top of where I've got the Valencia in the crease there. I'm just gonna go back and forth until I've got the color nice and distributed. So I love adding in a little bit of Claire just because it adds a little bit more depth and dimension to the look. And just like before, I could literally stop at this point and add some mascara on just because these 2 shades play so well together that I can be good to go at this point. These first 2 steps were the most crucial. The next 3, they're more just about enhancing and kind of taking things to the next level. But these 2 shades are really the stars of the show. So I personally always love a little bit of a shimmer, and so I'm gonna actually go into the color Crush. Now I'm gonna take the same brush, same fluffy end, I'm gonna swirl it into Crush. I'm gonna do a really light touch though with this one, and what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna very lightly dust the shade right on top of Valencia where I've got it on my lid. And I'm doing this just to add the most subtle touch of shimmer to my eyes, but I still want Valencia to be the main shade there. These 2 mix really well together and that little bit of subtle shimmer that Crush adds just kind of makes the eyes stand out a little bit more but without overtaking the whole look. And then I'm gonna flip my brush over to the smaller end and I'm gonna dip into Crush and I'm gonna actually take that color right along my lower lash line. Now, Crush is another really great one to have in your palette, and let me explain why. So one is you can actually take Crush and you could do exactly what we did in step 1 and just kind of do like an all over wash on your eye and have that be your entire eye look. So it's got a lot of versatility as far as that goes. The other thing that I love about Crush is there are a lot of people that are kind of nervous about using a shimmer, especially if they have more mature skin. And Crush is a color that's really pretty for all different eye colors because it has kind of that orangey tone to it. So again, it works great for brown, green, blue, like all different eye shades. But I also love it because it's a much more subtle shimmer. It's not gonna be overpowering or feel like too much. And kind of as the trick that I just showed, if you wanna use a shimmer whatever color. Like I said, Crush is a great one. But if you're wanting to use a shimmer, but you're not wanting to have it on your eyelid because your skin's a little bit more mature, using that shimmer right along your lower lash line will give you that little bit of extra pop, but without kind of adding texture. Just as before, you can stop at step 3 here, or you can move on to step 4, which is where I'm gonna take the eyeshadow brush. I'm gonna just swirl it into this color called Drift, and I'm just gonna put a little bit of it along my brow bone right here, and then I'm gonna flip over my brush. I'm gonna take the small end, dip into it again, and I'm just gonna pop a little bit of this into the very inner corner of my eye. Again, just to add a little bit more contrast and a little bit more depth and dimension to the overall look. And then as the 5th and final step, which again, you don't need to do this step, but I'm gonna take a different brush now. This is my line brush, which is for brows, and I'm gonna dip it into the color Trust, and I'm just gonna go right along the very outer edge of my eye just to add a little bit of like a soft eyeliner. I'll also go along the bottom portion as well. The great thing about this 5th step is that this brush and this eyeshadow are great for filling in your brows, so you can actually get multiple uses out of this. So this right here is the finished look. I absolutely love this eyeshadow palette. It's got so much flexibility in it, just because, like I said, it's perfect for spring and summer, but it also allows you to have like an everyday natural look. You can be really soft and subtle with your eyes, but you can also use these colors to enhance your eyes and really make them stand out. So it's just got some really great shades in them that I think everybody would benefit from. So I highly recommend grabbing this palette. I will link up all of the colors I use, so if you want to get this exact palette, you can grab it. I will also link up the tools that I used, and then if you have any questions in regards to it, be sure to reach out and let me know. Also, if you are interested in any of the other makeup that I use 3D Foundation by Seint, and I can actually help color match you to your perfect shades. So I will go ahead, I will link up the form to be color matched, and I would be happy to help you pick out your shades and help you get started with this line of makeup, because it's pretty great too. I also will link up some information about the artist program in case you are interested in maybe finding out more information about what I do as an artist. If it's something that maybe you would be interested in doing yourself, I will link up some information about that, and then you are always welcome to reach out if you have questions.